Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvaditam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavaditam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Means Adyar is a main disciple or the follower of the particular God who is having a very better relationship with the God. And once we say Adyar Kadyar means we get impression or we get the what's the idea from the Adyar only. So what Maharaj told, the people who are worshipping or following or having the Ishta Devata, what sort of relationship, what sort of the devotion they have, no? We are getting into that. We are also getting the cognition and we are following that to our satisfaction. Satisfaction in the sense, into our cognition, we have the relationship with the gods. See, what we need means we are already related to the cosmos. And cosmos is manifesting that gods, was what Maharaj told, no? It's manifested through us actually. See, it is not different. There the Advaitam is there. See, we have the relationship with gods, and gods are manifested through us again. So we are one and the same in the cosmos. That Advaitic space makes us to be with the Ishta Devata. Again, Ishta Devata, it is not our willing is actually, it is not our choice. It's coming on its own way when we have the relationship with the cosmos. The Ishta Devata, again, it differs from person to person. Altogether, all are in one space, one cognition with the cosmos. So with the cosmos only, the Ishta Devata emerges within us.
Murli, is there anything else you'd like to add, Dr. Murli?
Yes, Maharaj. This is an excellent question. In fact, I had to really think about it. So I thought I will just add an aspect to it. The reason being that many people confuse that we having many deities to it being actually having many different gods. Yes, in one sense, it is many different gods, but all of them are representation of just that one that exists and nothing else. That is the whole prabanjam, the whole cosmos. Parabrahmam or whatever you call it, the Paramashiva or Paramapadam, like Swamiji says. So these are all different manifestations. They are all different manifestations of the same cosmos. So this is what people oftentimes miss. For example, in our own lives, we have different manifestations. I might be a doctor outside, I might be a consultant in one place, I might be a writer, an author in one place, I am a son to my mother and father, I'm a brother to my sister, and so many different things. So similarly, the way different things manifest and the way we relate to people, I have a certain characteristics. So similarly, Ishta Devata is something which is the frequency with which somebody relates to the cosmos and cosmos relates back to them. So it's an extremely scientific concept, and nobody can live without variety. They will be like dead just by boredom. But for some strange, and I'm sorry to use the word, but stupid reason, some people think it's superior and it's the best philosophy to just have one God or something like that. Yeah. That's my input, Maharaj.
Exactly. There is no differentiation. There is superior and inferior. There is no differentiation.
Exactly.
There is no differentiation. Because, see, once, for example, one person, see, is willing to go to Tirupati. See, he is very fond of Venkatachalapati. See, every month or every year, he never misses. He uses to go to Tirupati. See, some others know to go to Rameshwar or Chidambaram. See, in our Thiruvannamalai, see, we are having the willingness and the completely having the devotion of the particular God means we have more relationship only. That's all. It doesn't mean that other gods, other deities or no, or something. It's not inferior actually. The people, normal people may think like that, but it's not correct. So there is no such definition at all. It is our link. It is our connection. It is our deep connection, deep devotion only. It differs from person to person, but altogether they are all one and one, only the same.
Can I add something to that as well?
See, another I missed actually. As to Ishta Devata. Ishta Devata is unique one. Ishta Devata is unique one in Hinduism. That means we are having such blessings to have our willingness, our manifestation through many sources, many Shaktis within us. So when we have that, as Muraliya told, no, when we are ferocious, we have Goddess Durga. When we have knowledge, we need knowledge, we have Saraswati. When we need wealth, we have Venkatachalapati. So like that, you have number of, what shall I say, sources means the God sources actually, the godliness, the God particles we are having already inside, which is reflected rather from the God only. As Swamiji once told in the Satsang, no, we are just like mirrors. So many mirrors in the past. The source is the main one, which is getting reflected through us only. So it doesn't mean that we are creating number of gods. We are not creating different source. One source is the supreme energy is there. We are reflectors as mirrors, as Swamiji told. So it's only a selection. As per our state, even karma, I don't know exactly that. Karma background is also there. As per the karma, you may have Ishta Devata. What Dr. Murli said, no? It may be karma also. See, this birth, I am very much fond of Shiva. I am Shiva. I am Vilvapati. So I am Shiva. Perhaps in the earlier birth, I might have been with Vishnu. I have a belief that once you qualify with Vishnu, only you can reach Shiva. Like that also beliefs. So it's only a Ishta Devata is a unique in Hinduism. Only we have a concept, energy, not God, energy. Thank you.
I wanted to bring out here before we move on to the next question. So, how is the concept of Ishta Devata unique to Hinduism? So, it's not that other religions don't have multiple gods. Surely, all religions have their own set of gods. Even some religions may believe in the one God theory. Some other religions may have multiple gods, pantheon of gods. The unique aspect of Hinduism is even when you do not connect to the 33 crore devatas in Hinduism, even when you do not connect to any of them, you have the freedom to create your own devata. So that is the beauty of the Ishta Devata concept in Hinduism, where even when the existing devatas, you are unable to connect with them, you are unable to relate with them, when none of them are clicking with you, you are given the freedom to create your own devata, worship your own devata, and that devata is respected as another form of Paramashiva, as another form of the cosmos of Brahman itself. So this is actually a very important aspect of Hinduism, which does not exist in any other tradition, any other religion of Hinduism. So with this, I would like to move on to the next question now. So the next question which we have with us here, how can youngsters benefit from this concept of Ishta Devatas? Yes,
Yes, actually, it extends from the ongoing discussion from yesterday. We've been talking about exactly how Nitya Puja will be helpful for youngsters and how a daily puja will help them cope with the daily stress that they go through, and also as a remedy for the violence and the negative influences that they experience in their life. But when it comes to an Ishta Devata, it will be extremely beneficial for youngsters. Because youngsters always want a role model. They want someone to look up to. They always want they're looking towards building their character. They're looking towards becoming somebody meaningful in their lives for themselves and for others. And whatnot, the stories of the Rama, Krishna, and Paramashiva himself, and all these Puranas are filled with the stories of the heroism, and not just the heroism, the outright chastity that all these avatars have for dharma and for establishing dharma again and again. To have such tremendous ideals, actually, even with the recent film of Bahubali, the actual interesting archetype has come out in the story. An archetype is a set example for a story that recurs again and again and again and again. So in traditional entertainment, on stories, you'll see the Greek archetype of the hero, but he has a fault, and the hero that has a problem, and he has to come over that problem to show the human side of things. But the Hindu archetype has been beautifully introduced and has always been there. The story of Krishna and Rama as the ideal, the perfect archetype. The Hindu gods are perfect. There is no flaw in them. There is nothing that is bad. There is always the correct, and there is nothing that they need to come over. They are always in the pure space as the role model, and that is a better way for someone to for youngsters to see as a role model, to see someone and strive to be someone who's perfect. As far as the role models of Rama and Krishna are concerned, their stories are beautiful to hear. And but as I said earlier, the Ishta Devata manifests in your life as the need that you need immediately. So whether you need a consoling person in your life, whether you request the blessings and the ferociousness of Kalabhairav to happen in your life, whatever it is that your soul really needs in that moment, the Ishta Devata fulfills that. And as the soul-seeking generation is, this youngsters are always seeking what is going to give me the best fulfillment in life, what is going to give me the highest high. They are always seeking such an experience, and when it comes to Ishta Devata, them being able to see which deity they connect. It actually, Swamiji actually beautiful put it. Somebody asked him, "How do I know you're my guru?" He said many things, many answers to this question. Two answers that he has given. One is, if you know that if your logic is convinced that this person is beyond logic, this person is something that can contribute to me, and this person is beyond the logic that I have right now. If your logic is convinced that the person in front of me is beyond the logic that I have right now, he can take me further, then that person is your guru. And then another thing is, Swamiji says that how do you know somebody is your guru? You'll not be able to forget them. You simply will not be able to forget. In the same way, you people can connect with the Ishta Devata. You'll not be able to forget the story. You'll not be able to forget the darshan. And as Vilpati Ayya beautifully told, how there are so many different gods in the tradition. Actually, the tradition, if someone knows Hinduism and asks the question, why are there so many gods? Then the answer can be, that's just the moment somebody asks, why are there so many gods? It's like, you can be more specific also. There is a Nataraja in Chidambaram. There is a Arunachaleshwara in Tirunamalai. These themselves are different gods and entities. Physically manifested in temples, they are alive and responding to people, and hundreds and thousands of millions of people connect with them. So they're living deities, the living gods also. The concept, the answer to this question can be attended to in many ways. Why are there so many gods? But for the Kailasa that Swamiji is reviving, the way that it can be beautifully answered is that they are real, they exist in the cosmos, they are very much physically manifested in our temples, in our puja sets, in our Atma lingas, and they are there in our. And it goes to benefit these kind of specific definitions for Hinduism, because when we are specific with the answer and we share our experience, so especially with youngsters who want to have a definite answer for things, they don't want the vague, big, superficial answer. They want to have the specific answer. Is this it? Is this it? Is this the experience? Is this the experience? So it'll be beneficial to enrich them about Hinduism in this way, and to give them the concept of Ishta Devata as the partner for your soul. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Actually,
Yes, I am.
Maharaj has put it very nicely. Maharaj has put it very nicely how youngsters are actually wanting to objectify everything. They want a very definitive answer to everything. So that's a very nice way of relating to making youngsters relate to spirituality, God, and all that. So, and as he said, as again, as he rightly said, they want role models for everything. So if you are able to, like, because Hinduism allows this idea of creating gods, if we are not satisfied with the existing 33 million gods, so we can create a role model for them so that they also relate to some supreme being, so that they also come into this zone of spirituality. See, whatever you call as supreme is there in spirituality also. It's not that they you see only on the screen or fictitious characters. You even have gods or only like that. So it's a nice way of enrich people into spirituality by that way. And yes, thank you.
You are as your profession, you're teaching, and I think directly you have been working with youngsters, right, Aya? And so
Yeah.
hands-on, you know the problems they're facing, and that's why you were able to relate a lot with the answer Raja Maharaj shared, because in your day-to-day life, you are experiencing the problems and seeing the problems the youngsters are facing. Thank you so much, Aya. It's actually very good that you joined us today on the panel, especially when
Actually, more than my students, I will say, so one or two of my friends who have got converted, who have gone away from Hinduism. It is because of them that I actually am able to understand Swamiji's teaching more, and it is with them that I want to share all these teachings and make them come back. Though they are very stubborn that they won't. They always say that no, you can never bring me back. I have actually found the true God. So you are in the name of praying to God, you're only praying to one human being, which I don't resonate with. I see that I tell them like you are seeing only the human frame. You don't understand what is exuding from that. I see the divinity in them. You see only the human frame. You are very spiritually myopic. I'll tell them like that, and they are yet to resonate with it.
the concept of Ishta Devatas, if we can start bringing this, and when we start teaching more and more people, I think eventually even they will be able also to come back to Hinduism, and we'll be able to bring them also back. The concept of Ishta Devata is actually not just limited to youngsters. Even many of us in our life, however old we might be, even we look forward towards a role model. Even we look towards an ideal, and someone who we can keep at the top, and know that we also have to achieve what they have achieved. That's why even now in the modern day, so many people, so many entertainment industries are remaking the Ramayana, remaking the Mahabharata. There's so many stories just from Hinduism itself, which they are pulling and remaking it for the sake of entertainment. What they're actually doing is they are taking the Hindu Puranas, the stories in our itihasas, and using that, bringing they're actually in one way they're doing a good job where they are making our own devatas, our own heroes in our itihasas as the heroes of modern youth. Even now, if pretty much every single household in India is watching at 8:30, they open Star Plus and they are watching the Star Plus Mahabharat. So stories like Mahabharata and Ramayana, thousands of years old, are still having an impact in modern society. They are still able to influence the thinking and able to reverberate with modern society. So that shows the power of our itihasas, of our Puranas, and how we can utilize it and benefit that, even if they are not able to relate with spirituality or with any of the modern concepts. Just asking them to read our itihasas, our Puranas, just as a story, just for the sake of entertainment, that alone is enough to slowly, bit by bit, bring them back to Hinduism. Hope this solves your problem and you're able to bring your friends back to Hinduism, Maya.
I too hope so. Yes, I too hope so. Yes, thank you.
Yes. So, is there
Yeah,
anything else?
unless
Yes,
we train, we have to, yes, as Muraliya told, no, see, other beliefs, as your friends told, no, what are they actually? The so-called gods in which they are having now belief, no. Earlier, of course, they were also human beings only, no, as per their concept. If they were true enough in their stories, in their beliefs, no, their gods, so-called gods, now in their religions, they were also human beings only, no. Now they are gods for them. See, we are living God.
No,
That's all.
actually, we relate to that. Yeah, we believe in rebirth. We
Yes.
talk about rebirth, but they don't talk about all that. See, I tell them like this:
It is
you
a belief.
say that
Yes,
you
yes,
say
it's
that
a
only
belief.
Jesus is true God because you essentially believe God is somebody who forgave you for your sin. I don't believe I'm a sinner at all. That's why the question of forgiving my sin. So only on that assumption you took that Jesus as God. I didn't believe that I'm a sinner. So why should I take as that's what I asked them, but they don't have any proper fair logical answer to that. My religion does not expect me to believe anything, accept
Yes.
anything before he accepts me.
So I think
That's why Hinduism
yes,
is better, I tell them.
Murali, yeah. So I think this just reiterates the importance of how we should not to prevent these kind of mistakes happening in the future, to prevent people going through these unfortunate
Yes, yes,
mistakes.
exactly.
It is very important where we take immediate action and start in some way, some or the other way, however small we can, bringing this concept of Ishta Devatas into the youngsters. Actually, if those who are with us previously for the Vakyartha Sadhas over the past days, Digambaraya from Maharashtra, he achieved beautifully that Kailasa ecosystem can happen only when there's a Gurukula. So only when the Gurukul system is established in a place, only then the Kailasa ecosystem is possible. Because when, for the sake of the Gurukul, we will change ourselves so much just for making the Gurukul happen. So much of infrastructure will be built. So much of transformation will happen inside of ourselves, just so that we can impart that knowledge to the Gurukul. On the topic of that day, Raja Maharaj had also shared that many times, even though we do not practice certain things which we know which are beneficial for our life, we know doing puja is beneficial, doing yoga, meditation, many things we know are beneficial. Some we choose to practice, some we do not choose to practice for various reasons. But when it comes to our future generation, when it comes to the next generation, we always ensure that they are benefited from all the aspects, all the good aspects which we know and which are introduced to us. We make sure that they are benefited from it. So that is the importance everyone has a mutual understanding to give for the future generation. I think when we give this concept of Ishta Devatas, make Ishta Devatas the ideal of modern society, modern youth, even the old generations as well. Everyone is looking for ideal, and that is why again and again people are turning back to Mahabharata, turning back to Ramayana, turning back to the ancient Puranas and ancient Itihasas, because they want a model.
See, we talk about perfect, and we actually are we don't encourage this idea of one God religion because we believe that nobody can one being cannot be perfect for all times. So that is one. The other dimension, aspect to it is this multiple birth. See, Vibhishana, he actually understood what was right, and that is why he came and he did not choose the pleasant and stood with Ravana, his own brother, and he came to Rama's side. But still, there is one incompletion in his in that birth, that he did not satisfy the role of a proper younger brother. So he had to satisfy that karma by taking one small birth after that, is what I read somewhere. So what I'm saying is, no, when we say perfect or imperfect, we still cognize based on that only that one body, that one mind, that limited frame. But when we understand God in its entirety, in its fullest dimension, we see that everything is perfect as such. We say that somebody is not perfect only because we look at what that person has shown or believed or lived, or how he had lived in that one birth. If we look at the existence as a whole, it is perfect. But this idea of only the religion which acknowledge this idea of multiple birth can, only when somebody understands that idea, they can even relate that everything is perfect as such. Otherwise, see, these Abrahamic religions, why we are not much in favor of that? Because they want to make everything perfect within this body frame and mind, within this lifetime. But we are actually more interested in transformation because we feel that it is a ongoing process. They don't see it as an ongoing process. They want everything to be perfect now, here. Otherwise, they think that they'll be taken to some eternal punishment zone. But here in Hinduism, we don't talk about that. So that is one thing good about Hinduism, I will say.
Yes, yeah. Actually, what you said, one thing that you said, I understood is sacrifices that need to be made, the tyaga. Actually, if you see the characters in our itihas and the stories, you see the tyaga that these three characters do, the level and the depth of tyaga that the person does, that character is only looked up to more. The level of tyaga that Rama had to do, the level of tyaga that Krishna had to do in Mahabharata, that is only what is perfected. Because the perfection happens in the amount of sacrifice that somebody does. Yes.
Yes. I resonate with Krishna's tyaga, yes.
Yes, and if you see, then the amount of tyaga that Swamiji has done, and how he, so much to be able to, again and again, he's facing so much of negativity and media mafias continuously attacking him, but still he sits and does his mission to enrich the world, to enlighten the world, and that itself is a modern day example of those devatas that are there in the Puranas. Can we go to the next question, Maharaj?
Yes, thank you, Raja Maharaj. So, moving on to the next question. So, actually, before we go to the next question, excuse me. So, before you go to the next question, just to introduce this Ishta Devata concept. So, this is one of the fundamental concepts which we have in Hinduism. So, when we introduce Hinduism, you cannot introduce Hinduism without introducing the concept of Ishta Devata. So, those of you who are new to Hinduism, joining us maybe for the first time, if anything we have said about Ishta Devatas, something has clicked with you and you want to experience this Ishta Devata for yourself, you can join the Paramashivoham program, which happens every month, conducted by the Acharyas of the Nithyananda Sangha. So, we'll be watching a small promo video about Paramashivoham and what is it about, how you can benefit yourself from that video. Please stay tuned.
Cash you have, how much gold you have, how much money you have in the bank, what all properties you have, your secret passwords, passcodes, your strength secrets, you will tell only to your son or your daughter to whom you are going to give your inheritance. Same way, most important powerful secrets Paramashiva has given to his son Muruga, Subramanya, in Agama called Sarvajnanottaragama. All the powerful secrets the father will tell only to his son. It is too secret. I am going to open that Agama and give all the essence of all those secrets. Secrets of Staryapada lifestyle, secrets of Kriyapada, secrets of Yogapada, secrets of Jnanapada. I am not only going to teach you, I am going to give you exactly what Paramashiva gave it to Subramanya. Because Paramashiva himself is manifesting through this being now, giving you all exactly what was given to Subramanya. Nothing is required from your side. Just sit like innocent Subramanya, Muruga at the feet of Paramashiva. I assure you, whatever was given to Subramanya, the whole life will be given to you now. Not just words, teachings, not even just experience, life itself. I am talking to each one of you sitting in your room. I will make you all Subramanya.
Yes, we're back. Now, along with us on the panel, who has joined us just recently, we have Jayaramayya from Bangalore. Nithyanandamaya.
Nithyananda Maharaj.
Yes, sir, yeah. So, for all the viewers watching us today, could you introduce yourself in a few words, your profession, how you met Swamiji? Yes, sir.
My name, I am Jairam Reddy. I'm from Bangalore. Basically, I'm an automobile engineer. I'm into business, used car trading business in Bangalore. I met Swamiji in 2005. I am following Swamiji since then. My son studied in Gurukul. His name is Pratik. Hello? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, please
Yes,
go
sir,
on.
yeah.
Please go on.
Okay. That is what is. I'm also a year grad. What else you want?
So yeah, so a little bit about yourself, your profession, what do you do, and how you met Swamiji.
Okay. Basically, I'm an automobile engineer. I'm into used car trading business in Bangalore. I met Swamiji in 2005 through one of my friend. Introduced Swamiji to us to the program, the basic program, the ASP at that time. Then after attending that program, I continued with the Swamiji till now. Now all of us, all four of us are following Swamiji. My son studied in Gurukul. He's the one. He's the one. He's the Pratik. He studied in Gurukul.
And sharing your opinions about these topics. It means a lot to us, means a lot to the panel and to the viewers watching us today. To have people like you, it is because of people like you, Hinduism is taking shape, Kailasa is taking shape, thanks to all of you voicing out your opinions. As Swamiji had shared earlier in the clip which we had put, simply voting is not enough unless we give the context, the reason for the stance which we have taken, only then posterity will be able to benefit from it. So thank you so much, Ayya, for taking the time off and joining us here today. So we're moving on to the next question. Why should youngsters look towards their Ishta Devatas as their ideal instead of celebrities and social figures? So I think we had Raja Maharaj had already entered into this topic a little bit before. So let's just expand on it again. And why is it important for, like, surely social figures and celebrities, they have the plus points, some reason why people go behind them, people look up to them as their ideal. But why is it important that youngsters do not look up to them as their ideals? They choose the Hindu Devatas, they choose the living the concept of Ishta Devatas. Why is it important that Ishta Devata concept is, which is from where their ideals and their social, not social figures, but their ideals should come from, and not from celebrities and social figures? Yes, Raja Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj. Actually, I was going behind the celebrities. Celebrities are created by the entertainment industry, and they're created by the stories that they and the characters that they play in the movies or the films that they do, and as well as the characters. Of course, as I said, the Greek archetype is a very common thing where the hero has a flaw and then he has to come over that flaw. So that story is what is picked up, and of course, celebrities because of the way they are handsome or the way they look, and then after that they like the way they act, they like the way they behave and their behavior. But it's not technically that the actor is exactly like the person who is acting in the movie. The person who is the actor is somebody else. And then but the concept in the film is the character in the film is what youngsters look up to. But if you keep the Ishta Devata as an ideal, as I was saying, the Hindu archetype, that where you take a character and that character is the perfect ideal. There is no flaw in that person. And the Ishta Devata, whenever anybody is presented a deity, whether you are presented Ganapati or Paramashiva or Krishna or Rama or anybody, or even Devi, you're told how much of sacrifice they do. You are told how much of power they have because of the amount of compassion they have, the amount of sacrifice they do, and that is what is idealized. And that is actually, if more and more people idealize the Ishta Devata, we'll actually have a better world. We'll have a better and a more considered world, because even in the stories that are presented in the films, it's always a person's self-interest, a person's own interest about themselves and their own life and their own journey. But the Ishta Devatas concept gives people, youngsters, the actual bigger reality of things. The bigger reality of things is that you are surrounded by many people around you. You are not just a single person in your life. You are surrounded by so many people around you who contribute to your life, who you need to give back to. And the stories of the Ishta Devatas are always in that heroism, to always save the world, to give spirituality to the world, to establish dharma in the world. So it will be truthfully a better ideal, and they answer the calling of the soul more than any other character in a film will do. Yes, people will idealize a character in a film and think, yeah, that person is somebody I want to be like, and that's something that I want to look like. Those characteristics are fine, but actually those characters are not real. At the end of the day, actually, let's look at the realistic thing of this. The characters in the films and the celebrities, the characters that they play, they are not real. They're just characters in a story. But we are talking about deities. We are talking about Ishta Devatas. They are Devatas. They are real. They exist in cosmos. They respond to you. You can have a relationship with them. A back and forth can happen in life. You're not just idealizing something. You're looking at something and getting a response back in your life. And you're seeing your whole life manifest in front of you with their blessings and their grace. So the Ishta Devata is a real, responding, living thing. Whereas a celebrity is or a social figure does not have that much outreach. Even if you're connected to them on social media, even if you're connected to them on the internet, they won't have the time or the compassion to be able to reach out to you and to be that ideal that an Ishta Devata can be, that a god in your life can be, that a deity that you do puja to. The Devi that sits there in front of me, that stands in front of me, is more real to me than that. It is more real. Youngsters should understand that the deities that are there in temple are more real than the characters that they see in their films, because the deities in the temples will respond and are caring about your life and are involved in your life more. They are not just there for one part of your life, one part of the day, that is puja. They are there throughout the day.